everyone. This is your host, Leslie Stone, the Queen of Cannabis, and I'm here in New York City at the Jacob Javits Center, and it is a lot happening here with the CWCB Expo. So, Alaine, what brought you to the CWCB Expo today?
Well, I've been an investor and an operator in this space for about 5 years, so it's kind of a natural to come here. There's a lot of interesting companies. I spoke on a couple of panels and happy to be here sitting with you.
Well, we're happy to have you here today as well.
The number one challenge in the industry today is getting really good level senior men and women executives to really execute. That's why I'm thrilled to see a world-class professional conference. What Ceylon Solutions does for the cannabis industry is that we do the outsource software engineering. So when you have a company, and usually focused a little bit more on tech, but we work with also non-tech companies that need software development, rather than spend a lot of money onshore in the United States, we do it offshore in Sri Lanka for a fraction of the cost. And in the companies that we like a lot, we'll usually split it up between cash fee and equity. Some companies like that, some companies don't like that, so we're very flexible. And the way we work at Ceylon Solutions is that we develop a specific team, custom-built team to the company's needs, and that team only works for the company. So it's a true extension of the company's IT efforts.
And what type of criteria do you seek from these companies?
Well, the first one is the potential of the market. So even though I'm a big believer in the future of cannabis and hemp and CBD, I like to see companies that are going to be taking a strong market share in a specific vertical. The other thing that's extremely important for me, especially in the cannabis industry, is people that have domain knowledge. That is, people that have knowledge of what they're doing from previous non-cannabis businesses, because then I know it's people that really know the industry, not the cannabis industry, but what they're bringing to the industry.
Now, what would you tell a potential customer that was seeking investment? What would you tell them to do?
So I would tell them to have a cohesive deck that basically explains the company and the opportunity. It doesn't need to be very long, but it does need to cover it. The deck is kind of like the invitation to the first date, right? So then if somebody's interested in your deck, then they'll have a call or a meeting, and that's where you can really start kicking it off. Since I've been in the cannabis industry, it's literally all over the place. I have companies that are the multi-state operators. I have companies that are the Canadian LPs. I have companies that are in the seed business, in the tissue culture business, in compliance. One of my favorite companies, a company called Simplifia, that basically is operating compliance, which is going to be very important with the Bank Act, the SAFE Act, because under that Banking Act, you're required to bank companies that are compliant with the operating rules. Simplifia is the solution to that. So it's a sort of across the board. Raising capital is a challenge. It's a challenge in non-cannabis industries, and it's a huge challenge in the cannabis industry. But it makes you stronger. You got to get out there and really hustle. You got to get to the trade shows. You got to get out there and meet people. I support a lot of the organizations, whether it be DPA, whether it be Normal, whether it be some of the other organizations, and I am actually even before cannabis, I was already very focused on investing not only with women, but also with minorities. It's not only a business thing, but it's a personal thing. And as a business person, I like to have people being personally invested. So I haven't really done much with equity investments in the social equity investments in the cannabis space, but I support it 150%.
And is there any words of advice that you would like to give a potential cannabis entrepreneur?
Don't give up. It's raising money and running a company. It's hard work. And in the cannabis industry, you sometimes feel that whether it's regulatory, whether it's political, whether it's social, people are constantly throwing things at you. It's it's a tough industry, but the reward on a social basis, on a financial basis, on a political basis is amazing.